I'm shocked by how many of these promos are cheaper than I thought they were. It's crazy.
Facts. Wait, you watched me change it to 30. I changed it to the wrong thing again. The content, we're not beating the content farm allegations, mostly because we're not good at content farming.
No, it's a tough business. They don't tell you.
That, and we're also openly transparent about these being recorded on the same day. I'm gonna have to remember to go back and change this episode title to the correct episode title, like number, when we record the actual podcast. But yeah, bonus content. We're back behind the paywall again. This time, finding out which of these cards need reprints desperately. And maybe talking about some that did get reprinted at a good time and would have ended up on this list if Bandai didn't hear our desperate pleas.
Yeah, it feels like they never got over all of us complaining at them on Twitter about RB1. And like reprints are just like going to be a thing with Bandai now, which is a bummer. Of all the things to have be a thing, I wouldn't choose reprints.
Yeah, but I'm also pretty happy about the just general price of the game going down. Like, context, we live in Europe. Because I'd be seeing how much Lucemon costs to build for a do-nothing deck in NA, and $400 for dog water is like drinking raw milk.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Paying extra to
pick that for you guys.
Paying extra to do actual bodily harm to yourself.
It'll get there one day.
Yeah, I'm sure one day. And
it's getting Liberator, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll save the Lucemon slander for a different podcast episode or something.
Top 10 do nothing decks.
Yeah, finally. God, I would love to do that.
Yeah. Let us know what you like for all of these content, by the way. We're trying to do more and more different things of bonus content. Some of them will be some top 10 stuff. Some of them will be, we haven't finished our top 5 series or best memory spends. We'll get back to those.
Man, yeah, gotta get on those.
Just want to do some more goofy stuff, like what each of the protagonists of each season are bringing to the cookout.
Who's invited to the cookout?
Or, Thanksgiving, what are they showing up? What are they thankful for at Thanksgiving? Yeah, we got some nonsense coming up. I want to do silly stuff again, as well as, deep cut analytical content.
Yeah,
exactly. So that way you never know what's about to hit your inbox randomly behind a paywall. And if you enjoyed seeing these on time instead of after most of the data is irrelevant, become a champion. And hopefully by next year we'll be working on the ultimate content real soon.
Please, God.
Real soon.
Stop giving us events, Bandai. We have work to do.
Actually. All right.
Let's get at these reprints, King.
All right.
Want to start with number 10?
Yeah, number 10. We're not going to order them to start with, I don't think. I think we get the cards there.
And then we'll rank it, yeah. Sounds good to me.
All right. So first up that we spoke about was Analog Youth. He technically is getting a reprint, but compared to how easily available he is in JP, the fact that this is a championship card means that he's still kind of hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, I expect this to be a very expensive championship. Like, this is going to be one of the ones people like most argue to trade and sell for. So
see, I'm curious. I'm not sure if it will be.
I don't think it'll hit the price of the EX11 off the rip, but there are going to be fewer of them globally than EX1's alt, and I think that will have some knock-on consequences.
See, that's the thing I'm curious, because it'll be when the game was a little bit earlier, so there wasn't as much player base, so there wasn't as much product. So I got to wonder if with there being enough championships, okay, like maybe, yeah, across the separate pools, because like NA and EU aren't going to be sharing prize pools, for example.
Sure.
I think there's also something to be said about this card in Japan doesn't have a stamp.
That is true. In Japan, it was available as a premium Bandai product.
Which makes me wonder if, like, because it's low effort, part of me wonders if we will just get the unstamped version at some point, in the same way that stuff like the Lord Knight and Sakuyamon were just alt arts that existed that they slapped a stamp on and went, yeah, thanks for showing up to the championship. I'm kind of concerned about a demake of this one where we, like, its price tanks because we just get an unstamped version.
They've done that. Well, they've done similar things to that in the past. The Tamer I think it was Tamer Pack 03 was like a collection of like Digimon Tamers, like Galamon, Guilmon, Renamon, Sakuyamon. They all had nice alts, and then they were printed with stamps later. Could totally see an inverse of that, where like, you know, we get gold Analog Youth finally dropped off. I still think we're missing gold Chimera from that same set too.
I didn't even know he was in there.
Yeah, Gold Chimeramon BT8. Speaking of card, we probably didn't. I can't believe I forgot about Chimeramon BT8 and not getting a refund. He might be worth talking about here.
Yeah, actually, that's a fantastic pick.
So yeah, both of those in similar boats here, but Analog Youth, I would say maybe like just a touch more like splashable and kind of annoying to need your copies of.
Yeah, the
I
other
think I've
reason
probably
that
bought like 16 of these over the years.
I've given mine away to multiple people because it's actually just really funny as the fakest purple player ever. Like
Yeah,
I
you're
just
just offloading your purple stuff
it's
all
like
the time.
I
Yeah.
didn't own any purple trainings, don't own any purple boosts, couldn't find them, probably given them away. My analog youths I gave away pretty much for free, and then I was like,
Yeah.
damn.
$5 each? Uh-oh.
Whoops. The only reason I would say that the analog youth will be an interesting one to see whether the gold one becomes the most expensive is because a card that absolutely would have been on this list is kind of in an interesting position where the event pack 7 and the upcoming special limited set have tanked the price of this card.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Big fan.
So like Death X is going in honorable mentions because you can now get a non-regular art currently. So this also serves as your market watch if you're a champion. Go buy your EP7 ones before people realize, like either go buy your EP7 ones if you want a nice one before people realize, or the regular art Death X is about to crash into oblivion because
Yeah.
the second card that probably would have, I mean, you could probably argue is still in need of a reprint is Protoform because
Yeah, making it an event pack only one really hurt.
yep, it's not getting its limited set. So these are your options, and this really.
Oh my god, the alt Protoform is more than alt Death X now.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
real interesting thing. Yeah, this like the market watch mojo
I need these
kind of a
for
joke,
one.
but like. Yeah, the average price trend for these is around about 30 quid. The other one did see a pretty heavy dip for a bit, but like for the most part, now they're about even when you look at them. But when the EP7s were coming out, they were like 10 quid cheaper than the regular versions. Now people I think have adjusted their listings for this to kind of bring the price back down.
Yeah.
But there was a real world where you could mogul moves by every EP7 that was available and then just pump that number back up. But I think people noticed fast enough and kind of evened out the price of the regular art. But like, if you don't go, like, I mean, EX5 is a good set to open. Half of it's on the ban list, so it's a dead card pull. But like, still a good like EX sets are never
The
bad
box
to
toppers
open.
are still good too.
Yeah, the box toppers arguably all would have been on this list if not for.
Yeah, a handful of them getting some love. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the Raremon. God, I'll never.
Yeah, in
remember.
fact, shout outs to Raremon on the list.
Dude, that's crazy. The regionals champion stamped Raremon is going for an amount I remember seeing regular Raremon from the box topper going for.
Yep. Back in the day, the machine players, the everyone players were jumping like, you know, these numbers obviously very silly, but you can still see about £70 from a new-ish seller.
Yeah, if you pulled them and you had them, why not?
Yeah, you put them up there, and these were the sort of numbers that you could kind of try and flip it for, which is horrendous. But now obviously it has been reprinted, and to be honest, like £7 for a card that's objectively a good staple, I think is very reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, light play, whatever. Yeah, but like 10 quid for a staple is, you know, out of the realms of budget players for some of them, but you know, I think for more serious locals enjoyers, I think Raremon is maybe the cutoff for like.
Yeah, I think a tenner for a promo starts to be where people go like, this could probably get some love.
I think the fact that it also, because of how they've changed participation, like I think it being participation versus an event pack is really important.
Yes, it makes a huge difference to everybody having at least one copy.
And then
I opened 2 participant packs and I own 2 of this card now, so it's a huge deal.
Yeah, like that, or like you do well at the regional and you get top 64 and now you have a participant and a finalist. You now own 2 copies of the card. If you get further in it, you get 2 finalists. So like you can go to a tournament and walk away with 3 Raremons without trading if you do well enough. Potentially even 4 if you're nice like that. Which is a really funny concept.
Yeah, what an idea.
But yeah, I think Raremon is like probably gonna end up on like honorable mentions because it has been properly kind of like sorted. Protoform, I think, does need another.
A huge amount of help. Protoform is, especially considering the future and most recent design space, we know that we're getting Alphamon, likely Oriumon, and Takamika all in the same set. They're all Protoform decks. Gallon X is spiking the Protoform price in Japan right now for EX8. Protoform is the card people need new copies of, I would
Yeah.
say.
The only thing I could maybe say is Protoform is kind of suspect because it either needs a reprint or the new
Or
X
it's
antibody
hitting.
cards are going to get. We're going to get a new one that has everyone either move over or they're going to hit it so everyone moves over because like Protoform just objectively crazy powerful card and like if they're trying to make another generic X antibody that's not like specific to only the BT20 cards that come out, they might just have to hit this one with a mallet.
How much is the original X antibody going for these days?
Probably
I feel
like
like,
it's
yeah.
bulk now, right?
Oh, Andrew, they're $1.50.
Really?
Yeah,
For like the nice ones, or
for the cheap one.
how do you search X antibody just like normally? I hate
I typed BT90109 because I'm weird and remembered the set code for the card.
thank goodness you do, because okay, yeah, that
That's not as like this is what I mean is like in the event that's I mean there have been reprints for it in the past like the starter deck card, but the Beelzebub starter deck's not in circulation anymore. So like
okay.
some of these like evergreen cards, like X antibody decks kind of look at stuff like this in like a way that colors look at their mem boosts. And like this card being accessible or not depending on certain years is like it's gonna be a challenge for the card game to maintain that over the time.
It's interesting because then you have cards like Blinding Ray, which are just, they're bulk.
Yeah, it is funny how that goes.
Really,
Well,
really
I think
interesting.
also being is Binding Ray a rare or is it a common?
It's a rare.
Oh,
So they're
wow.
both,
Yeah, that's right. It's the old gold foils.
yeah. I think
Dang.
maybe it's because Blinding Ray also was reprinted in RBO1.
Yeah, that's true. RB1 helped a lot.
Yeah,
Jack Raid's the same.
we went from an obscure card that became really important to suddenly having 3 versions of it.
Yeah.
Or I guess technically 5. But yeah, you know what? I don't want to say X antibody needs a reprint because I feel like we're going to get a new X antibody in BT20, but I think Protoform either it needs reprinting or hitting.
Yeah, I could see the same. I can give Protoform the status.
Do we
I
want
could
to talk
definitely serve it.
boosts?
I think boosts have been reprinted 1,000 times. Is the
I
thing.
actually was thinking more of the interesting boosts, like
Oh,
Mist
yeah,
now
that's a good
has
point.
an alt, but like
Yeah.
if you wanted to get a non top 4 search colored boost as an alt, you were looking at a judge pack and waiting. And
What's the big offender?
like
Would we say?
the other problem like I have with it is obviously they're all bulk cards. Like who's 5 pence for a missed memory boost, which is arguably the most playable non.
Oh man, blazing. How much
Yeah.
is a blazing memory boost?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Well, let's.
It has its errata one. Hell yeah.
All right. EP. Oh, I forgot that was an EP5.
The card from EP5 is less than £6.
That's not bad.
That's crazy considering how good Blue Flare is in 2.5.
I wonder if this is a European problem. Let me 1 sec. The wet like these guys love blaze like.
Yeah, Blue Flare never left North America. 15.
Yeah, there we go. That
Okay,
makes a
I
bit
was
more
gonna
sense.
say, wow, that's crazy. I might, hey man, I might be able to make some local moves live on camera. No, that's funny.
And this is only 2 listings. Like this card could disappear.
Yeah, dang. What else? I mean, there's Glaive has a judge stamp. That's the only one that one has.
I think that's the case for genuinely.
Dino
most of
Memory
them.
Boost is kind of cheeks. That one exists. Some of them have pre-releases, but that's not a reprint.
Yeah. I don't know if any of, like, because the boosts are also niche, they're also cheap. And again, if
Yeah.
you really care about your specific one, you probably own the judge stamp of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Until Mist obviously got its new one, and I don't know any of those. I love Mist Memory Boost, and I'm on judge stamps.
I think that's a good point actually. I think generally reprinting memory boosts is cool. It would be nice to see them not just anything that's on judge stamp only, which as of the moment, as long as I can count correctly, is Howling, Reinforce, Glaive, Flare, Dino, Pride and Mist have them. Blazing has and Impulse. Impulse is the last one.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's
Impulse is a good one.
6 of them. 6 boosts that need more than a judge reprint. So
Yeah.
that would be nice. I think boosts as a lot are a good pick together.
Yeah. The next one that I had on was the non-demo deck promo rookies. Because as much as they have started, like they have been reprinted in the I guess it's technically a Bandai Premium product. Like you have the actual Bandai Premium product.
Yeah.
And then there was the adventure boxes. So there's a couple more of them out on the market, but they're still, I mean, the fact that most of these listings are still like more expensive than the reprints kind of just shows that like they are kind of awkward because it's not like you can go to locals and someone will just have them readily available.
Yeah.
Outside of like your promo Veemons, your promo Ukos that showed up in the demo deck. Where
they were also in the they were your participations for pre-release. Uko and Veemon were, I believe, winner and participant cards respectively. So they had pre-release like extra copies too, which was huge.
Yeah, so I just think that the supporting cast of Adventure 02 probably could have done with a little bit more. Obviously, these cards are pound for pound better, which is why they're more expensive. But like, you know, some places have had a criminal number of demo decks. Also, you in Europe, you got a demo deck with a box purchase of BT14.
That's right.
So it's specifically for like Uko and Veemon. They're not that bad. Because they've received a bunch of like reprints. Like there's 5 versions of Veemon, so now they're all worth. Especially the pre-release kind of just tanked the price of these because these used to be going for like £25 until the pre-release just ate these.
Yeah.
But it's never really been the thing for like Hawkmon. So as much as the cards are less popular and therefore not as expensive, I think the fact that they're awkward to get a hold of, because you know you got your movie promo one is a 1 in 3 gacha pack for going to the movie, or if you got some of them in from a tamer party if you lived in Europe, then that's all you've got, and then you were desperately waiting for reprints that again gacha pack unless you paid for Bandai Prem products. So I think these could maybe do with some reprints or just better availability.
Did the corresponding tamers get reprinted in red border as well? Like, was there a red border Yoli with the Hawkmon? Because she might actually be worse than Hawkmon in that case.
That's a very good.
No, there's only 2. That card's £7.
Yeah, but again,
Maybe
like the Bandai Premium product.
Yeah,
there's more of them, so like she is more expensive by scarcity.
Sure.
But like anyone that is a diehard Yoli stan owns these.
Yeah, I think basically anyone who's like I think broadly we could just categorize this as the O2, the beginning cards, all could really do with one last really easy to get set of copies.
Yeah, like the supporting cast specifically, because Davis and Louis, they've got enough.
Yeah, they've had theirs. I own my one nice Louis. I don't need another now.
We were kind of looking at Omnimon. I think.
I am very surprised this card is still that cheap because it's not like, you know, sometimes you need an individual card. Like, you know, people talk about promos that are like, oh, you must have this promo to play Virus Imperial for Shadramon's case, for example. But like, Secret Rare Omnimon is like a card I expected to be pretty difficult to get a hold of still, like Secret Rares from a set that's out of print.
God bless the event packs, man.
Yeah, for real. Unbelievable.
This time, like 6 months ago, the regular art Magnamon was going for like a tenner. These were like 30 quid, and the Tamer Party was over 100. So like these event packs have dragged the price down of some of these cards, which is beautiful. But yeah, no, I was gonna say the actual card I meant to check is, again, he's been kind of hit by it's an event promo, but having access to the Evo Cup actually brought the price of this card not as much down as I thought it would. This card is still stupid expensive.
It's part of a matching set.
It's part of a matching set. Veemon tax, and yeah, I mean the fact that the champion card is going for £7, I think actually takes Magnamon off the list. I think he's down in the honorable mentions tier.
I can give him that.
Because damn, this card, like if you wanted to not play this art, you were dipping into savings. This card was rough.
For real. You know what just occurred to me? You mentioned the event pack stuff. Quartzmon hasn't got a real reprint, does it?
No, it's literally EP.
It's event pack, alt, or that's it. I think Quartzmon might be a card. I mean, it's still a cheap enough SR, but like VT11, when was the VT12? That's nearly 3 years old.
I will say it's a weird one. Like when your alts, I mean, £5 for a super rare is like a very healthy amount. I think the fact that like the EP isn't crazy expensive and your real alts are kind of like a 27.
Value. Sure.
It's an interesting one. I think it's like a very healthy example of a card where like if you need it in a pinch, you can drop a $5. You can even like, if you don't want to play min rarity, you can still drop basically a $5 to get a prettier version. And if you really care, you can drop money on it. But like if you really care about one of your, you know, super generic staple super rares having an art and they're complaining about spending the money on it, sorry, supply and demand 101 is right there.
For real. I do like the EP one for having the unified color circle. That's something that like a lot of people don't give the new reprints credit for.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But you know, it's.
I actually kind of want to say,
all those color borders are kind of like
staples. I think some staples could afford to just be reprinted for the sake of having updated.
Oh, for the color ring?
Yeah, like the color ring, the fact they say like play cost or use cost now.
Oh, it rules, yeah.
I think staples with like
new card layout.
Yeah, I think layout is the kind of cards in need of a reprint. Is like, if you should be seeing it frequently, I think it should be not necessarily just readily available, but it should be on the most recent like updates.
Sure, makes a lot of sense to me.
And then a completely different aspect, supply and demand.
Yeah, these cards are weird. We're talking about including these because like they are objectively speaking very difficult to get a hold of right now, but we do know that the D-Storage deck boxes are coming out soon, and you get one of each of these with a deck box, but also you get one of each of these with a deck box.
If it was two of each, then you could maybe say, yeah, it's fine, because then you buy two, kind of like how you could buy 2 starter decks and get like your promo, your BT3 Davises back in the day.
Boosts in BT or ST7.
Do we know how much the D storages are?
I don't think we have official MSRP. I think information is coming this month for Europe.
How much were the leather ones, like the Beelzemon ones? Were they like 70 quid?
No, not nearly that much. I think maybe 30 to 40.
Okay, so I don't think the D storage is going to be
with the mat and the promos.
Okay, I don't think the D storage is going to be more than 50 then.
Yeah, I feel like 50,
especially because
I've been imagining.
Yeah, because it also can't sleeve a lot of people's decks. I think it's very reasonable to believe that it won't be. If it's north of 50, I'll be upset.
I think also, like, you know, we'll have to see how well created the D storage is. If it's like a one-off premium Bandai thing, but if it's a thing that Bandai stores are going to be having from now on, you'll just be able to buy them in a box. Like, I could see that.
Yeah. I think Liberator promos is kind of like subject to release. What are we thinking about some of these other promos though?
Promos are kind of the name of the game with reprints. I wanted to highlight Dragomon specifically because we know Examon is getting new cards, and this card is cheap right now and could get expensive if Examon turns out good coming out of the next wave. Don't necessarily know if we finally get Examon X or like if that deck would work with an Examon X. But you know, it's something to think about. And I remember what happened to what's it called? To Nightmon when the Lord Knight stuff was
Oh,
semi-playable.
that's the promo we should have been looking at.
Yeah, that's true. Skull Knight and Nightmon. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Oh, God, how much is promo Skull Nightmon right now? I bet it's obscene.
yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know,
that's
this guy
and there
represents.
are no other versions of this card.
Yeah, this is a fantastic pick. I cannot believe it when,
Yeah, I mean
especially,
all of these promos, right? Like it's just such a you could basically go on promos and
and
do search by price.
this is the down price. Like, look how hard
Oops,
that spiked
30. Ooh.
recently.
It's because Lord Knight's not winning.
I wonder if, yeah, also maybe some, you know.
Some fraud Nightmon X Shampty body. Oops, I mean.
We're
Anyway.
behind the paywall. By the time this comes out, Marcio will
You
have
just play Leviamon. What the heck?
yeah, he'll have won EUNats, so we can
Yeah,
just be
it's so
really
good.
annoying.
Just play Leviamon. Are you guys even testing the cards?
Yeah, this was a pick. This was a pick and a half.
Yeah, great call. What else is there promo wise? BT5 Agumon?
I was just
He's
like,
still gonna be pennies.
I mean,
BT.
yeah, he's showing up on like best bargains, which was kind of, I was like, oh, what's happening here? Best bargains, like when we were thinking about old cards, you mentioned starter deck cards, and obviously Hammer Spark's been hit, so now there's a surplus of Hammer Sparks. But Kakaida's Breath was actually what came to mind first, because
how many reprints are there of Kakaida's Breath? Because there's not going to be that many that aren't tournament cards. That's like tournament cards almost don't count as meaningful reprints.
It's weird because like, yeah, like this is realistically you're looking at £6. Ignore all of these JP listings. If you get caught by it being a JP listing, that's honestly on you.
Yeah, you should have turned your own filter on.
Yeah, that's genuinely honestly on you. This card, yeah, used to be closest to the 20. I think the fact that there's just other bloom removal in the game now, and Beelstar
reprinted Paladin mode.
Yeah, also Beelstar isn't like a 7-cost spam thing anymore, like going forward, I think has hurt the like thing of this card. But I think Kakaida's Breath is a very good example of...
Oh, it's in RB1 though, right?
Yes, it was one of the like poster cards for like, hey, yeah, RB1. But
that's right. Also, like Secret Greymon and Airdramon, or sorry, Arrow Veedramon and stuff.
Well, Starter Deck 2 actually just got completely pulled apart because you were basically buying Starter Deck 2 to buy Hammer Spark, Kakaida's Breath, Kaiser Nail, and then get 40 cards.
Yeah, you need your SR Zudomon stuff, basically.
Yeah,
so
and then you just get a bunch of bulk that comes with it. But,
jeez.
Yeah, like, these cards have careened off. Because there's actually reprints of every single one of the good ST2 cards, which is not
kind of a crazy thought, actually. Yeah.
Y'all, if you remember Zenimon Zoom In, y'all remember that Gaia Force was
I think I won this one.
Yeah, Gaia Force, yeah, this joint is in the toilet. This is a fantastic example of reprints. There's now too many of them.
Sheesh.
I forgot this even.
I love the cross encounter promo. That one's my favorite.
Yeah, that's the one I have as well. Yeah, this was I think Ancient maybe. I think Secret Rares,
broadly speaking, need them just in general.
The Secret Rares that are good, I think, do need some reprints. I think we should hold our hands up and accept that some of these Secret Rares from BT prior to BT9 are trash, and the ones that aren't trash are really difficult to get a hold of.
What was the BT7 was Lusamon, and that's been reprinted in the binder. Lusamon and another card. BT7. Oh, Susanomon, right? That's a secret rare?
Yes.
That card's like kind of middling right now.
Yeah, it's not great. I think Ancient Greymon specifically.
Ancient Greymon specifically is the guy, because this effect is kind of more evergreen. Just good keyword power as opposed to a like sort of weaker version inherently.
7, 8, 9. This is 10 cards. Are any other ones like? Is BT13 still too new to be asking?
Yeah, I think evidently, like if the price of Omnimon is still that good, I think maybe we have to go back far, like BT10. Like, what are the secret rares in BT10? It's King mode. How much is a King mode? Or King version?
BT10. Yeah,
this the alt? $5 for an alt? Yeah, dude, these cards are pennies. So yeah, you know what, Andrew, I'm willing to give you that one. I think most of the secret rares that are playable held their price, but like
I
a
think
lot of them got
maybe,
reprinted.
yeah, like Omnimon, BT13, and then like
Like
any of,
Veemon will probably need something like that down the line. Same reason. Like if it's the guy for your deck, like very specific deck support tends to need artificial help.
yeah, I think especially because like the aces and stuff like all the Royal Knights getting aces that are really low cost. I think specifically, I think this is in like the tier of reprint that I think this is for budget players, because if you want to play
Yeah.
Royal Knights, that deck was a working man's deck or community deck. Like that was a we pull all of our cards together to have our one Royal Knights player
Yeah.
if you're trying to bling it out. But now that like obviously you can play min rare for most of the BT13 pieces, but as soon as you need to play a card from outside of BT13 min rare, the
Mm-hmm.
price cut's kind of weird. And now obviously the new aces are all super cheap, and some of them have like X antibody versions and stuff. I think the Omnimon still being like a crisp 25 quid to get a play set of them is probably not ideal if the rest of the deck is like literally pennies. It feels kind of weird.
Yeah, it's all rares and stuff.
It's kind of
I
like
mean that the thing with that deck is it is two secret rares. That's kind of one of its sticking points.
yeah, I
Gallantmon.
kind of want to take a look at, yeah, Drazzle and Gallantmon.
Gallantmon we know is getting a reprint, so at least that might help it somewhat. But yeah, God, I bet you that card's the most expensive card in the deck.
Yeah, like Drazzle. Yeah, I mean 12 for an alt of your egg, that's whatever. But yeah, you're looking at
25 per. Yeah, I mean that's BEX8 hype to be fair.
yeah, that's the thing. Gallantmon being a beloved name. Omnimon is at least a boss monster in like
He is your win
some,
con in that
yeah.
deck.
And most of the Omnimon decks also don't play nice into each other. So like your Omnimon BT13 isn't really being splashed into like your Omni Turbo. Whereas
Yeah.
this guy is the benchmark for the Gallantmon Reddit, like breaking down and Discord arguing for like 9 weeks.
Yeah.
Like
Yep, never leave home without one.
so like you could maybe argue Gallantmon, but do you know when we're getting the reprint for him?
I think just as early as unification. That's been the thing they've been talking about. It was part of the like poll of favorite art cards. Like Dorugamon is getting one.
Yes.
Or sorry, Dextor. No, it is. It's Dorugoramon that's getting it.
Yeah, it's
not
Gora.
Dorugamon.
Yeah, you
It's
know
not
what? We'll put the fave art list as our like honorable mentions, but I think
we could vote on these 10. I think there's something here.
yeah, I kind of want to put like
Oh, actually, can I throw you one more? Maybe Emperor, Digimon Emperor. He's
ooh,
technically had reprints, but none of them are like super accessible.
Digimon Emperor. Yes, I'm frequently surprised by how expensive this card is.
167.
Oh, but he is getting the reprint in championship set. But again,
Oh, that's a like late into the tournament card. That's not a participant card. I think you need top 32 for the Digimon Emperor.
really, I
reprint.
thought it was randomly assigned and you just get a full play set.
No, I think this is like the gold version of the security rookies last year. I can't remember off the top of my head, but
Okay. Events. Live tangent.
find those nationals. It's very possible I'm remembering incorrectly, but thought that there was a
so these are trophy cards.
16, 32, so 64.
Championship Tamers pack.
Beats me.
256. So there's no, I mean Championship Tamers pack is just
the participation card, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's
well, it'll show us what's in those.
I think it's
You go to scroll up a little bit to the contents.
Contents.
Tamers pack, yeah, there you go.
Tamers pack is analog youth.
Well, I mean that will still help a little bit.
Okay, so you get 4 of them, so that means these are not going to be one of each. It's going to be individual gacha, and then gold stamp card set. I think
it's
is what
the
you were talking
Emperors
about.
here. Yeah, that's top 32 and higher.
Yeah. Okay, so top 32. Okay, yeah. So you could probably argue that Emperor.
I think Emperor could be an 11.
I mean, he's 2 quid.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah, you're right.
He'll come back again.
Yeah, Emperor. Also, that's assuming we never get like any further, like they try and make a Digimon Emperor dot deck, like an O2 thing, Harukeni Mummymon support, anything.
Yeah, that would be cool. Another Chimera-mon on a shot at it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we've got basically the list. I think we put at number 10 Omnimon
Yeah, I
Like
agree with that. Read my mind.
Omnimon
Cards that are like the
BT13.
thing you need to play a deck should be accessible.
Yeah. You could argue that with Ancient Greymon
Jim
BT4,
Greymon,
you
like
don't
same
need
thing again.
him. I wonder if like, is it any of the good sects and then specifically Ancient BT4, or are we kind of just lumping them together?
I think Ancient BT4 and the Secrets are kind of like emblematic of each other. I think Ancient BT4 is kind of the poster child for that right now, if you ignore Galantmon, who's getting a reprint.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll see how much that drops the price. Fingers crossed. I'm gonna say maybe the Liberator promos now. I feel like the Liberator promos, the fact that we know that they're going to be relatively cheaper compared to what they are at right now, and they've had 2 reprints going so far, so like that will help down the line.
Oh wait, we have to bump these all. Actually, no. I don't think like staples with the new card layout is kind of like a main, like it's the sort of ethos.
Well, that can like broadly contain all the color border things too, right? So like a lot of those are like cards that we did eventually get in event packs or other things too, but there's still some more missing. Like we still don't have a BT11 Veemon reprint yet. We're finally
Yeah,
getting one in English at Christmas, but like, you know, if you want an ST7 Growlmon and don't own Growlmon starter decks, the only other version of that card currently available in English is from DC1.
which is crazy to think
Yeah,
about.
yeah. So some of the stuff, some things like that, I would say are worth looking at. Judge stamp boosts for sure. They're still relatively accessible. Judge stamp. Excuse me. Those cards are not the hardest thing in the world to get a hold of, but I think it's crazy that there aren't more boosts considering how much they reprint color boost name. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I kind of think it could be Analog Youth here. I think he sits pretty comfortably in the middle,
Yeah, I was gonna
especially if
see
he's
if
getting
we
a
put.
participation one for Nats.
Yeah, I think him being participation versus Emperor, I
Yeah,
think makes him.
brings him down.
Yeah,
He's more expensive than Emperor currently, but like that will probably be helped more. Emperor is not getting a cheaper reprint.
I was gonna say he's more playable, but he's really not. Like Analog is technically any purple deck, whereas Digimon Emperor is any deck that really hates it when a rookie moves
Yeah,
out of raising.
it's an anti-meta choice. Digimon Emperor goes in decks to not support your own deck, but to stop the other guy.
Yeah, like we saw in Frozen's like Mirage list just being randomly on 2 Emperors as like a don't you dare promote a rookie out whilst I'm trying to do my thing.
I was on that. I was on that back in BT15 for the Patamons, man. For
Yeah.
Ukomon for Nume.
I think
like you need it sometimes.
I think looking at this and confirming that it is a thing was I think really, really important for.
Yeah. Oh man, Mother D Reaper might have been a pick.
Yeah, she would have been a good pick. I mean, I'm sure she's super cheap from like EX2, which a billion people
Fingers
opened because it
crossed.
was like a popular set. So
Yeah,
I
it
feel
was the
like,
first really good themed one like that.
yeah. Oh, I'm
I
glad
would
that she's
hope.
getting reprinted.
I think it's tough to not just sort it by price towards the top here.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be like Protoform is the most important reprint in the entire game right now.
Yeah. I mean, this again, thanks if you're a
Maybe Skull
champion.
Knight.
Yeah, if you're a champion, you see this and we haven't found out what the new X antibody is and, you know, Protoform's on the ban list already, then should have
You
become a
got
member.
us.
But yeah, I think Protoform for now has to be number 1. And then I'm kind of tempted to put Chimera as number 2.
I was gonna say Chimera, then Skull Knight feels like the wave for me, and then we round it out with the O2 kids.
Yeah, and then. All right, yeah, I think we again have kind of crushed it with the list. So it meant that Ramon didn't make the cut, but Ramon again.
He's had tournament reprints that are super expensive.
I kind of what is it CPO 24?
Yeah, Championship 24 is the way that he read it. So CPO 24.
Yeah, like for honorable mentions, I want to put like some of the EP7 cards like Death X, not quite Protoform because it's still too expensive. Death X being like inaccessibly expensive for so many people, to the point where you either can deck build around it because you can borrow one for an event, or you just build lists without it. I think it becoming accessible as an expensive-ish staple now is really cool, especially since the price is going to go down lower. Ruin mode is kind of in the same boat, but not quite to the same extent because we don't know what the price is going to look like until like SLM is actually in circulation.
Yeah.
BT13 Magnamon has kind of dropped, thanks. Well, it's dropped for people that didn't want to play min rare. You can finally play a different alt that isn't 50 to 70 pounds.
Yep.
The Fave art list hopefully will do wonders for just getting more
I think
cards.
it's also like Mastemon's getting a reprint on that as well, so that will help with that card. I think there's a certain like chunk of the game like that we could broadly just include extra alts, or sorry, extra honorable mentions as like game breakingly powerful super rares from more than a year ago. So like 11 Mirage jumps to mind, things like that.
Yes.
So if you guys have one of those that you've been like, why are they not talking about it? Let us know in the comments, because that would be a big help.
Yeah.
Make people aware of the things they should have on their radar.
I think everything on the CP24 list is like actually fantastic.
Yeah, the Venus reprint was enormous, man.
Yeah, these are genuinely brilliant. Like everything from this year was really solid for the most part. Like there were some stinkers like Magnadramon and like, I mean, even then Oriumon was still like there are people that like the deck. Herc doesn't have any alts, so like some of these cards, like I mean, Lightfang Nightclaw being basically budget until you hit your 6s, and the rookies like having some extra stuff was nice. But yeah, the most recent like CP24 stuff is absolutely brilliant. Like the Zubamon and Raremon going from
just knocking out of the park.
Like refunding the cost of your box down to like, you know, being £1 and £7 respectively. But really the whole goat of this this whole video that is like, Bandai, if you want to pat yourself on the back, you're seeing this. Congratulations for absolutely obliterating some poor guy's nest egg that was some of these Machine Dramons, because
dude, even revision pack Machine Dramon did not used to be that cheap. Like,
we have now, the bubble has officially popped on the X1 machine. Like it is
it's a cheap card
dirt.
finally.
This card being used, I mean, it's actually shown up on the bargains one now that you can get like a nice alt for £20. This card used to be like a solid 50 plus, even with the revision pack. The fact that it was non-foil meant that like it was still like $50 for the machine. And some people didn't really like the gold version. Some people got the gold version anyway.
Are haters. The gold ones are sick.
But hey, at least it's the alt art.
True.
Like the unlike Masto.
Yeah.
But yeah, this shout out to Bandai for actually allowing people that are new to Digimon and were like, oh yeah, I like Digimon World 1. Machine Dramon's really cool. Oh, I need 4 of, and he costs how much?
Yep.
Yeah, so big shout outs to them for basically making the only reason to open EX1 to be fishing for analog youths.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because I mean, it's a cool ass art.
Yeah, they crushed it. I mean, I can't even believe like how much that price has gone down.
Yeah, and if you have a crippling addiction to foil, it's only £3. Like,
you'll hang in there, you'll be alright.
Yeah, so the revisions one, this whole video basically was this in my mind after having this exact scenario with one of our new players and going, we handed him like 300 quid's worth of product, and I looked online, it's like we handed him 25 pence worth of product.
Yeah. Knock yourself out.
Yeah, that and boosts having 5 reprints was basically the idea for this one. So yeah, really another Tom and Andrew banger.
We know how we do it. But seriously, let us know in the comments if we've obviously forgotten a card, or your certain deck is like you're glad you picked yours up then because you couldn't build it again now or whatever. As a Gallimon guy, let me tell you, I do not envy those new Gallimon players.
Yeah, what is the card that is currently stopping you from missing? Like, have you missed the boat on? Like, what is your Tom's BT14 Lugamon like?
Oh yeah.
What is, you know, actually,
why did I sell my alts, man? I give them to my brother.
Yeah, we're putting Lugamon BT14 on this list real quick. Yeah, what is your BT14 Lugamon? What is the card that is dono walling you from being able to play a deck because you didn't get in time?
Yeah,
that's what we want to know.
Spend the money on it. Yeah.
Let us know what your one of those is, because I know there are so many people that have like that. Yeah, I want to build this deck, but I don't have this, and hopefully the card is on the list that we've suggested, and then Bandai's going to see this list and go, you're right, we should fix that. But let us know what your BT14 Lugamon is, and let us know what other sorts of bonus content you want to see. If this list is irrelevant by the time you see it, it's because you probably weren't a champion and didn't get to see it the week it came out, so consider becoming a champion and helping support the channel and getting fun content early. when it might still be relevant.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll see how it goes.
We've done every color of the colors thing, and Patamon escaped the ban list, so
we dreamed a little high. Maybe Angel's Topping will get it one day.
yeah. But yeah, this was a fun one as always. So we'll see you in the next bonus content or the podcast. Maybe I'll be wearing a different shirt by then.
Yeah, we'll see. Fingers crossed. Bye.